So a couple minutes of that before we start.
Okay, all right.
That sounds fun to me, too.
Sounds like a good thing to me. Let me turn on my phone just in case the president calls.
Yeah, oh, I forgot to put mine in airplane mode, but
That's
it's
a
all
good
locked
idea.
up in there.
Airplane mode would be a good thing. I have just discovered that trying to play a harmonica in a harmonica holder with a beard, the harmonica keeps grabbing your beard. It's got these little slits in it, and they say, "Oh, look, a hair." Learn as we go. Why don't we all get together? Try to turn this thing around. Open our hearts to each other. Share the good that we've found. There's enough if we just share it. Reaching out heart to heart. Don't delay it. Hear me say it. Now's the time to start. We've all got our own backstory. Could be that mine's not like yours. When we get down to basics, accepting differences indoors, you can see we all try to be our best when we think it counts. Right now time to waste, it's time for action. Focus now on what to do. Though there's fear and elation, notes our hearts sing are true. Together we are marching, taking this message heart to heart. On we go, because we know now's the time to start. On we go, because we know now's the time to start.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Christine. It is my pleasure to greet you. For those here in Sanctuary, as well as those on live stream, we welcome you and affirm that we are all one in spirit. Our guest speaker today is Bonnie Barnard. This is a huge deal for us. We are so happy to have you here. She's gracing us up here. Her talk is going to be on sacred nature, sacred self. Special thanks goes out to our musicians. We have Michael Robinson here today. And Chris. Yeah. And thank you to our media team, Byron and Wayne. They're extremely valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you to all of our volunteers who make every day like this possible. And we really appreciate you. Let's get to another beautiful piece.
All right. That last song I wrote just last week. I've been busy. But this one is from several years back. This is called I Am Here to Be Nourished. It's kind of a sing-along. And unless I'm mistaken, maybe we're going to have some lyrics. If we are, that's good. If we aren't, that's okay too. Just hum your little hearts out if you don't have the words. I am here to be nourished. I am here to be blessed. I am here to lose turmoil. I am also here to rest. I am here to share the laughter and to wipe away the tears. I feel spirit moving in me. I am here again. I am here to be nourished. I am here to be blessed. I am here to lose turmoil. I am also here to rest. I am here to share the laughter and to wipe away the tears. I feel spirit moving in me. I am here. I am here to be nourished. I am here to be blessed. I am here to lose turmoil. I am also here to rest. I am here to share the laughter and to wipe away the tears. I feel spirit moving in me. I am here. I feel spirit moving in me. I am here.
Woo!
All right.
That's great. Thank you. So now I'd like each one of us to get up and greet our neighbor, give hugs, high fives, meet each other. So it's a good way to build community with each other.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello there.
So good to have you here.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. And you? Cool. Woo-hoo. Cool.
Tell me what you want me to do. Just make it. All right, you guys. Well, he doesn't have this on for me. You notice I'm speaking and nobody is. All right, you guys. Now we have our unity peace statement, and I would like you to join me in this. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God. For there is one power and presence of God, and that God loves each one of us equally. It is therefore the position of unity to urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever the name for guidance during these challenging times, and to pursue peace, not war, for this is what honors the God of all our faith traditions. Thank you. And our spiritual nugget today is: in the midst of death, life persists. In the midst of untruth, truth persists. In the midst of darkness, light persists. Yeah. Okay. So now we're just going to take a moment to get into our bodies, and we're going to start our meditation.
I am, I am, I am, I am. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment I'm free. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment I see. Peace in my heart. Peace in my world. Peace all around. Peace radiates from me. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment is where I belong. In this moment I see. I am, I am, I am, I am.
At this time, I'm going to ask us to take a very deep breath. And as we release that breath, I invite you to take a moment to release all that came before this moment. And take a moment and offer forgiveness for anyone that may have disturbed your peace this morning. Offer forgiveness for anyone whose peace you may have disturbed this morning. We offer ourselves a state of grace as we fall into the great quantum field of all there is, our connection with the great divine that reminds us that we are whole, that we are love, that we are peace, that we are forgiveness, that we are all we endeavor to be, and in fact are all we think we lack. For there is no lack in the quantum. There is no lack in oneness with the divine. We take a moment to release any tension in our bodies, allowing that to start with our feet as we ground ourselves, feeling the chair under our bottoms, or if you're laying down at home, feel the weight of your body. Feel the fabric against your body. Feel the breath as it rises in your lungs and leaves your lungs. Allow all tension to flow out with every breath. Allow this tension to release from your jaws, your chest, the top of your head, the muscles in your cheek, into every way, into everywhere. As we move into wholeness, into the peace of our hearts, and into the silence. At this time, I invite you to begin to return to your awareness. Maybe wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, return back into this space of connection with one another, as we are always connected to one another. And I invite you to look around just to make sure you're fully present again. And you'll get a moment to do that while Michael gives us another beautiful selection of music, and then prepare yourselves for the awesomeness of Bonnie.
This is true for me and you and God in unity. Available, a blessed team, you and God and me. I said to God, are you available? And God said to me, what can I do to help you out? Tell me and let's see. I said I got a little problem with a bunch of things, but this is important to me. I know you're busy with lots of things, I hope you help me too. I think for you it's easy and handled simply. Thought I'd take a chance, thank you in advance, it's best for you and me. Available is what God asks and wants for us to be. To care and share everywhere our peace and energy. Yes, it's true for me and you and God in unity. Available, a blessed team, you and God and me. God said to me, are you available? And here's what came to me. I'm pretty busy, but I know we're a team. What could this problem be? God said, here's a little issue, not too big to be handled easily. Even though you're busy with a bunch of other things, do this one for me. I think for you it's easy and handled simply. Thought I'd take a chance, thank you in advance, it's best for you and me. Everybody, available is what God asks and wants for us to be. To care and share everywhere our peace and energy. Yes, that's true for me and you and God in unity. Available, a blessed team, you and God and me. Available, just a team, you and God and me.
All right.
That was lovely. Thank you, Michael. I love that. And is that a song you wrote as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, welcome to Unity, Divine Love and Light. My name is Reverend Bonnie Barnard, and I am your guest speaker today, and I am absolutely honored and delighted to be here with each and every one of you. And I am equally delighted to be talking about nature and self today. Those of you online, welcome as well. Know that your presence is felt here in this center as always. And so I wanted to start my talk today with a poem about nature. And so I read through all of my favorite poets, and I landed on one because the imagery is so beautiful. This is called The Journey by David White. He says, above the mountains, the geese turn into the light again, painting their black silhouettes on an open sky. Sometimes everything has to be inscribed across the heavens so you can find the one line already written inside you. Sometimes it takes a great sky to find that. First bright and indescribable, wedge of freedom in your open heart, sometimes with the bones of the black sticks left when the fire has gone out. Someone has written something new in the ashes of your life. You are not leaving, even as the light fades quickly now, you are arriving. Oh, I love that. All of us here have been around long enough to realize how cyclical our lives are and how there are those times when we are awake and aware to our old self passing away and our new self being born. And I have been going through that process very actively for the last 6 to 8 weeks, where the new is emerging and the old is making its way out. And so I'm keenly aware from that reading of the new that is coming forward and revealing itself to me. And today is Earth Care Sunday. Tomorrow is Earth Day. So today is Earth Sunday. Tomorrow is Earth Day. And it had me wanting to speak about nature, about the earth itself, and about the relationship to my body. So I wanted to look at God as form, God as earth, and God as body. Are you guys in for this today? Yes, let's go. So as a kid, I spent most of my time outside. And I imagine that's true of all of us in the room. I knew every single tree in my neighborhood. I knew the best places for hide and seek. I knew the best trees that I could stay dry under if I wanted to sit outside and read in Seattle on a rainy day. I knew the best trees for climbing. I knew the trees that had tree houses in them. I knew where the berries were in the neighborhood, and I knew the time of year that they would become ripe. I knew the dogs and the cats in the neighborhood. I knew the squirrels. I had such a robust outdoor life. I had my first mystical experience of God at age 5 in nature. I received my ordination in the 1990s outside in nature. And anytime I get an opportunity to travel, I go where there's some kind of spectacular nature, whether it is mountains or lakes or oceans. And Mother Earth and its inhabitants, all of its inhabitants, the plant life, the animal life, the human life, all of its inhabitants are our siblings. And more than that, the trees actually keep us alive. They help us breathe. They provide the oxygen for our breathing. So there was a great shift that has happened in my lifetime. And you may have noticed this as well, but kids are no longer outside running around and playing. I drive down my streets with the grandkids in the back car, and I say, where are the kids and where are the bikes? Where's the hide and seek? You guys don't know the trees in your neighborhood. You don't know the squirrels or the wild turkeys. Not unless an adult takes you out and holds your hands and walks with you, but you on your own accord aren't out there and exploring Mother Nature to have it become part of you and you to become part of it. And recently, I have been contemplating this quite a bit. In my new unfolding self, I notice I spend a lot of time pondering and contemplating, and whatever the Spirit has given to me to ponder or contemplate, there's something in it that ripens something inside of me, and then I shift. It's really cool. And so I've been contemplating what has happened in our culture that we have othered nature so that our kids aren't safe in it. And then I had to get honest with myself and realize that I too have gone through a period of othering nature and othering my body, which is the natural temple of the presence of God, of the presence of life herself. So I've been looking at othering as a form of making separate from, as a form of division, as a form of making different, and a form of giving myself permission to disengage from. So earth is the body of God, and I am the temple of God. And what I have done for most of my life I have been studying and living in the realm of the invisible. And yet, visibly right in front of us is the divine presence. So for most of human history, we actually lived in nature. And it wasn't until about 100 plus years ago, and humans have been on the planet for quite a long time. but we have recently taken with our lifestyle to live apart from nature. In our homes, we are temperature regulated. So I could be in my house in Spokane at 68 degrees when there's snowfall this tall outside. And I can be with my new air conditioner in my house in Spokane and feel nice and cool and breezy when it hits those crazy temperatures of 105-ish. I have separated, by choice, by comfort, my body away from nature. Along with that, I purchase food. I'm not somebody who grows her food. So I have divided myself, separated myself further away from nature because I'm not a part of the growing process of the food. And then, like many other Americans, I have turned toward, at times, chemical medication that has replicated natural medication that comes in the form of plants. So I sit and I go, look at all of the ways that I, Bonnie, have othered myself from the outdoors, from nature, from life itself, and in doing that, it's easy to mistreat it. So in 1970, our collective consciousness began to cry out because we were not taking care of the earth. Do you guys know what happened in 1970? I'll give you a hint tomorrow. Earth Day, first Earth Day. So this is what the EPA website says. It says, it may be hard to imagine that before 1970, a factory could spew black clouds of toxic smoke into the air or dump tons of toxic waste into a nearby stream, and that was perfectly legal. That was perfectly legal. No one could be taken to court to stop that. How is this possible? Because in 1970, there was no EPA, there was no Clean Air Act, there was no Clean Water Act, there was no legal or regulatory mechanisms to protect our environment. So in the spring of 1970, Senator Gaylord Nelson created Earth Day as a way to force this issue to the forefront of our minds. And in doing that, 20 million Americans, which is 10% of our population on Earth, in our country, 20 million Americans took to the street to create noise around tending to and loving our Earth. In December of 1970, then, Congress created the EPA. When I think back to the 70s, I think of the big push to stop littering. Many of you remember that you could drive down the freeway and a soda pop can could fly by your window, or some kind of wrapper that was in the car could go out to the side, or a cigarette butt, or whatever it is from the inside. The earth became our garbage can. And I remember when the whole Stop Littering campaign came about, and they had those signs with the little blue arrows around it, and encouraged recycling instead of littering, and they put fines to littering, and it got to a place where we could actually go to jail if we litter. It was a big shift from how we had treated our Mother Earth. And today in Washington State, even with all of those laws in place, every year 352 pounds of litter is picked up every mile on our freeway. 352 pounds of litter is picked up on our freeway every mile in Washington State. And in that pickup is 3,000 cigarette butts. Wow is right. It's so amazing. So our collective consciousness has shifted since the 70s. We saw the recycling come into being. We have seen composting become a thing. We have seen a push now to start using plastic to create different products, and we've also seen the encouragement of getting away from the use of plastic and all the inventions that support that. So although nature was where I was connected with God when I became honest with myself in my meditations, in my self-awareness practice. I could see that I had othered at times nature, and I had also othered my body temple. And that happened when I was a teenager. It happened when all of the magazines, the commercials, all the stuff came out to tell us what our bodies ought to look like. And each one of us knows how vastly different we are. And yet, I bought into it. I bought into it. It's what I saw, it's what I knew. And so I became mean to my body temple. And I talked awful to myself and started othering my own being. And when you other yourself, the world is in trouble. When you have separated you from you, you could do anything because you're not home. So I talked bad about myself, and I would say things to myself like, I'd say things to my body, like, boy, you betrayed me one more time. Wow. Like, I would try the fad that everyone was doing, and it wouldn't shift my body. And then I'd be like, wow, you let me down again, body. You betrayed me. And I talked that way to myself. I know next week you're going to have a guy talk about the stories that you tell yourself and the difference that it makes. And let me tell you, it's a very different story when you're cruel to your body temple than when you actively encourage it on and you're grateful for it is part of your actual spirit itself. So even though I still enjoyed nature, I found that nature became increasingly and increasingly more dangerous to me in my mind. I moved to Arizona where there's a lot of rattlesnakes and I refused to go hiking. I decided that every rattler in Arizona was out to get me, and if I were to take a walk, I for sure would be bit, and then no one would be around and I'd be gone. And I lived there for 12 years and didn't hike once because of that fear. And as I look at myself and continue being honest with myself, I say, well, the media told us that nature now carries diseases that could harm us for life or kill us. One of the diseases, many of the diseases come through mosquitoes or through ticks or from birds or from cattle or from other creatures. And so I've had to be really clean in my thinking and say, am I not going to enjoy the life Spirit has given me because I am busy making all of that other dangerous, wrong, bad, scary, and in doing so, protecting children from it? Whew. So I've had to ask myself, what is running my life? And I came to a place where I realized the sincere foolishness going on in my mind. And in order to change it, just like changing any other thought or conglomeration of thoughts, it took efforting, and it took efforting in and from a spiritual consciousness. And what I started doing was I started meditating to the sound of the cosmos. Did you guys know you could go into NASA's website and hear the sound of all of the different planets? And to meditate to the sound of Saturn is something incredibly spectacular. The other thing you can do is you can go to YouTube, and now science has put prongs on plants and has hooked them up to biofeedback mechanisms, and you can listen to the sound of plants. Each plant sings a song, and we get an opportunity now with our advanced technology to hear and to listen to that. So other things I do is I consciously and very actively drink hot nettle tea during the times of year where allergies are possible. I took classes on to become an herbalist and studied all different kinds of flowers to see that our medications are chemical mimicry from the original plant source that exists freely on our planet. And so I've had so much fun playing with the plants as a form of ingestion for my wholeness and for my well-being. So if we could just take a moment, turn to somebody and say, I love Mother Earth. Say, I love nature. I love my body. And I love me. Nice. So I've learned about abundance through nature. Any time of year I could sit on my porch and I could see abundance happening. If it's the fall, I can see so many leaves that no matter how many times I go out and rake, there's still some left on the ground. I could sit on my porch and I could look out during the springtime like right now, and oh my God, those dandelions love my lawn. And my lawn loves my lawn. It grows fast and quick and green and lush, and there's so much of it. And then during the summer, I can listen to the sounds of the birds while I drink some tea and just have a moment of incredible delight and know that there's so much abundance in the universe that a song is sung just for me. It's lovely. And then during the winter, of course, guess what we have abundance of? Snow. Lots of white frozen, and it grows and it comes down, and there's no matter where I look and how I look, abundance says, Bonnie, there's plenty. Bonnie, there's a lot. So when I can connect energetically with the plenty on the planet, I can let go of any of my concerns of care, which is beautiful. So I wanted to contrast, because this is so cool, the similarities between nature and our own physical bodies. Are you ready? This is good. Okay, both the earth and our human bodies are made up mostly of what? Water. We are called the blue planet because we are 70% water. There's so much. Okay. Hair on my head protects and regulates heat and may have some bugs in it every once in a while. What on the earth has that? Grass. Grass is our hair from the earth. It regulates temperature, and sometimes there's bugs in it. Okay, blood vessels. They work as part of our circulatory system. They move blood throughout our bodies, just as rivers and streams move water throughout the earth body. Our respiratory system depends upon air, and the earth depends upon air, and it respirates also. Trees are the earth lungs, just as we have our own lungs. A fun fact, there are 400 trees for every human being on this planet. 400 trees. Trees exhale oxygen, we inhale oxygen. We are in partnership, whether we're conscious of it or not, with the interrelatedness with our trees. We have reproductive systems, as plants and trees do, and both the earth and our body are diverse ecosystems. The earth hosts 8.7 million species, and the human body hosts 10,000 species. Yeah. I'm a living earth, 10,000 species. In fact, our bodies have less human cells in our body, and we have more other cells that aren't human in our body. About 30 to 40% of our body is human manufactured cells, and the rest is bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other cells. So you and I are walking planets of beauty. It is estimated that there are over 200 different types of cells in your body and in my body. So the soil on our earth is now the same as our gut biome. Both are filled with bacteria, both support the environment that they serve, and think about rich soil for a minute. There is so many different kinds of rich life in rich soil, and that is true of our gut biome as well. We must have active life going on in our biomes or we're in trouble. And so it's really curious that our soils are becoming less fertile, and our young kids are becoming less fertile. It's interesting that the soil is having problems with being rich and abundant in sourcing, and our own gut biomes right now are the hit of the medical community because we're suffering the same. So how interesting that we are so interconnected with Mother Earth that when it has a problem, we have a problem, and when we have a problem, it has a problem. It's really symbiotic. Nature has communication systems. Trees and plants communicate through their roots. It's referred to as the Wood Wide Web. Likewise, we communicate with each other through energy that we package in things called words that we toss back and forth to each other, or through our own energy fields and intuitive reads. How many of you read the book, The Secret Life of Plants? It came out in the 70s, 80s-ish. In there, they did all kinds of research, all kinds of scientific experiments, and they were able to demonstrate that plants have emotional responses. That depending upon how you feel depends upon how your plant acts in the room that you're in. We are that fully interconnected. And when I step back far enough and I look at when I was othering myself as a teenager and a young woman, I could see that I was like that tender tree, that sapling that was gangly. Like I was gangly, you know how tender they are, and how they're not yet ready to host the birds in them yet, and they're not yet ready to produce the nuts and their wealth. But as they get older and they become firmer and their roots go deeper and their arms go wider, they're far more available to be of service. And that has been my experience with me. The more I've been able to become me, the more that I have been able to give. So Charles Fillmore grew up right next to a reservation, and he wrote in his book, Christian Healing, that there is an intelligence inherent in every form, animate or inanimate. It has been discovered that even rocks and all minerals have life. We should be speaking words of truth to everything, not just mankind, but to the mineral, vegetable, and animal kingdoms. He was steeped in nature. Unity Village had a farm when it first opened. It opened in 1899, and people back in Missouri then were going to outhouses. They just got running water, and it probably wasn't even, the pipes probably weren't even installed and ready to go at that point. So they lived in the earth. They were part of the earth. And when Unity started, the focus was on physical well-being and healing. The medical community had not yet taken its full force of development, and it was really common for people to pray for their physical well-being. And so God as physician was so normal and natural to them. And then as we industrialized, the conversation came around prosperity. Unity started offering its teachings around prosperity. And now guess what? Unity's focus and emergence is around the care of the earth. And I don't think that the Fillmores would ever have had a ministry around the care of the earth because there was no other way of being. But because we have othered ourselves away from that way of life, we have now come to a place where it is essential upon us to become siblings again with planet Earth, with nature, to have relatedness and relationship with it, to pray for the health of our plants, not just other human beings, to become familiar with our neighborhoods again, just the way that we once were. And one of my very favorite teachers is a preacher, a teacher, a spiritual leader out of Ghana, Africa. His name is Brother Ishmael Tete. And he teaches his congregation that whenever they have an issue, to look to capital N, nature. And he says, whatever your issue is, you could look out to nature and see how nature solved it, and that will be the answer for you. So he said, for example, if you have pain, if somebody has hurt you, if you are in pain, you look out to nature and you see, oh, isn't that interesting? They turn that into manure. And manure ends up being a substance that allows new life to be born and born more richly through it. So you go through the period where you say, oh my gosh, this which I saw as a pain is now the fertilizer for this new next step in my being. And it ends up that you do that practice so many times that you realize that nothing is against you, and you realize that everything is for you, and you realize that nature is your ally and is working for you, and then it's no longer personal, but it is spiritual. It is your impact with the divine present. So let's go ahead and close in prayer. And as I close, I just want to invite you this week as you're out in the world to recognize your relatedness with the planet, to when you see a beautiful tulip in bloom, to feel its energy, to open your heart, to let a transmission happen between the two of you, to let it receive your light and have a blessing, and let you receive its life energy, its beauty, and allow yourself to have a blessing. So I invite you to go forth and to play with all of the energies that exist in nature, and to allow yourself to be so enriched that you can hardly wait to spend more of your time outdoors. Let's pray. And so I just give thanks that the presence of God that created Mother Earth and all of her beauty, that created nature, that created these amazing tulips that are in bloom in my neighborhood, that created the cherry trees and the apple trees that are all just in full gala right now, all of their little blossoms happening. I just give thanks that that same presence created each and every one of us here in the room. That God created nature and God created us. And that we on our spiritual journey have come to this space and the place to realize oneness, and that oneness means more than human. Oneness means oneness. It means all. It means the invisible. It means the visible. It means that which walks the planet that we will never ever see or meet. And it means that which is so small we can't see it. And it means that which is in the ocean held so deep that no human has ever been able to go down and even know what exists there. And it means us. That all of us are sacred, all of us are beautiful, all of us are the amazing manifest form of God itself. And so I give thanks that as our Christ consciousness expands and explodes and continues to inform us, it does so from this place of oneness. All is a part of heaven, and all is here now. And together we say, and so it is, Amen. Thank you.
My magic foot. All right, there's a tune here called The Sunlight of the Spirit, and the sun is shining outside. I'm so glad we could be here to make music with you guys and have fun. There's something going on in the shadows, and it's hiding out deep inside of me. There's something going on in the shadows. Distractions keep me unable to see. How did I get lost in the jungle of fear, heartache, and misery? This can't be right, I know. Help me let it go. Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine on me. Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine right in. Illuminate my path as I pray. I needn't fear the specter of the unknown. Chase the shadows and foolish doubts away. Omnipotent, omnipresent, everywhere I go. There is no place my God cannot be. Let me be transformed by renewing of my mind. Shadow dancing, fear romancing are not for me. Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine on me. The past is not a guarantee of what will happen next. The future's not a dark and fearful thing. Here in the pleasant present, your peace awaits your call. Soon a lullaby your heart will sing. Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine on me. It's hiding up inside the thought I pray. I needn't fear the specter of the unknown. Chase the shadows of this foolish doubts away. Omnipotent, omnipresent, everywhere I go. There is no place my God cannot be. Let me be transformed by renewing of my mind. Shadow dancing, fear romancing are not for me. Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine on me. Shadow dancing, fear romancing are not for me. Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine on me. Good job, mate.
That was wonderful. Thank you. It was amazing. And Christine, thank you so much for doing the first part of our service. I appreciate you so much. She's in training. Expect to see more of her, and we appreciate her very much. We do have announcements today, and as we go through that, today is our YOU for those who have been grown up in Unity. This is your reunion. It's happening on the 28th. Please be here. It's going to be a blast. And we do have other things that are happening, and as I go through those, actually before I go through those, I need to apologize to you all because I did create slides, and I have to apologize to Byron because I created those slides and thought I sent them to him numerous times and did not. And not only did I not send them to him, but I was rude about it this morning. And so I publicly apologize to you, Byron, because I needed a reminder this morning of who I am. Thank you, Bonnie, for reminding me who I am. I appreciate that. Some of the things we need to know. Steve Colliday's service through Unity Worldwide has occurred. I have not been able to find a recording of this to put on our website for anybody who would like to see it. But what I have been able to do is find his obituary and a link to his legacy page. If you go to our website, you will find a link to his legacy page that if you wish to leave thoughts, memories, photos, anything there that we will be able to. I will continue to search for that information to put on our website for any of you who were not able to see that live and to be a participant in that. One of the other things that I wanted to mention is we are going to be starting meditation at Unity on Tuesdays. Originally, we were going to start this in May. Dana Zoller and I are both involved in that. I'll be taking the second and fourth Tuesday, and she'll be taking the first and third. I think that's how that goes. And we're going to toss up the fifth if there's one and see what happens. And but I realized that because I'm in chaplain training on Tuesday, that can't happen until June. So starting the middle of June, we will be doing meditation Tuesdays, and there will be more on that. We'll have slides on it and announcements. Yes. Yes, that will be from 6 o'clock in the evening until 7 o'clock in the evening. And our thought right now is that people will arrive, we'll give them 5 minutes. Anybody who hasn't been who's new to meditation, we'll introduce what mindful meditation is. We'll start with the 30-minute, the first half will be for mindful meditation and going into the silence. We'll take a short break for people who don't want to stay for the second, and then we'll introduce a different type of meditation, whether it's chanting, whether it's guided, whether it's breath work. So there will be new things for other people to learn, and expect that at some time we may have guest meditators, because there are meditation forms out there that I still don't know anything about, and they're pretty cool. So I think that is it. And Bonnie, I cannot say thank you enough for your talk today. That was just fantastic. Just fantastic. And I just resonated with everything you talked about from my childhood, because I grew up rural. I dug up sweet potatoes. I ate alfalfa. I mean, we lived outside. And then also my othering, right down to where I hiked in Arizona, but I didn't hike in Spokane, because the first time I went to hike, it said beware of mountain lions, and I was done. It was over. There was no hiking. And even now I don't, because of bears and huckleberries and fighting for huckleberries. I don't hike. It scares me to pieces. And so, but like you, I am also returning to nature with my own gardening and things, and I hope that other people are doing that as well. So anyway, if you have announcements, please get in touch with me, or get in touch with the church. You can call them and let them know. I'll get them on the website. I'll get them to the people who put them on Facebook. We'll get slides made for them so they can happen. And if you have not received a Unity newsletter from Divine Love and Light, please let us know so we can get you on our church email to send those out. All right, at this time, we would like to have our love offering. And sharing your gifts with intention creates an energetic flow through your mind and heart, creating more abundance both for the recipient and the giver. As we pass the offering bags, I'd like to invite you to hold your intentions in your mind, and that will occur while, again, Michael and Chris provide us with some wonderful, soul-serving, soothing melodies. Or maybe something upbeat, I don't know. You do you. Yeah. Thank you. That was wonderful. I could hear that all over again. That's the kind of music you want on a Sunday afternoon, isn't it? You're out, you're sipping your tea or your coffee, or you're just chilling and you're reading whatever you are or looking at whatever, and that is playing. Yeah. We will do that all over the place. Did you write that one, Michael?
Created it on the spur of the moment.
That's a spur. Oh my gosh, give him a hand.
And you do.
Wow, you're amazing. Thank you for sharing that gift with us. Doug? And then I will ask you to please join me in blessing these gifts as we affirm together our love offering statement. Together, divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you so much. And then if you need prayer, please put your prayer requests in this box where they will be prayed over by us in Silent Unity for the next 30 days. Prayer works. Doug, thank you so much. And now we're going to invite in our children.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of love. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of love. In the light, 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 in the light of love. We are walking in the light. In the light, in the light, we are walking in the light of love.
Good morning, everybody. Is this on? I can't. It's not working. Oh, well, I can talk.
Try again.
Okay. Whoa. So today, Reverend Bonnie's grandkids came, which was such a treat. They're awesome. They were kind of sad at first because the other kids, some of them are on a trip this week, and I knew they weren't coming. But then we decided it was kind of cool, right? Because we got like one-on-one time, and we got to do some things without a ton of other kids. So it was kind of cool. Do you want to show them what we did? Or like pull the stuff out of the bag and I'll talk about it? We got a granny bag. A reusable granny bag. So we talked about Earth Day. Got some sandwich bags that are reusable. So we talked about how all of this stuff is important because it's reusable. You don't just chuck it. And we talked about how it's important to incorporate Mother Earth and Father Sky into our spirituality, that we need to know that this is our home, and keep our home safe. Right? Yeah, keep showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save the Earth notebooks. Yeah. Christmas for Earth Day. Yeah, dissolvable laundry sheets so you don't throw those bags or jugs. You know, we found them at our garage sale, so maybe someone in here that donated them knows. But somebody spent a lot of time taking plastic bags and creating a reusable bag. I can pass them around if people want to see. And then James had a very good point. I wanted to end with this. Yeah, it does kind of look like strips of toilet paper, but it's not. It's soap. So James, I had this. I was going to throw it in the garbage because it's all like, it's falling apart and it's not working very well. And he was like, but we're talking about Earth Day. We're talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. And you're just chucking this. And he talked about how it would be cool to like hang on the wall as kind of like an old school badminton racket or other ways that we could reuse it. So he convinced me that I don't have to throw stuff away necessarily either if I can find a purpose for it. So I thought that was pretty cool. It kind of summed up what we were learning today. Thank you.
That is a very good
All
point.
right. You know, and something that we have almost forgot about is this is birthday Sunday. It was supposed to be last week, but it's this Sunday.
Oh, thank you for that reminder.
Birthday Sunday?
Is there anybody having a birthday here? And oh my gosh, it's Murphy's birthday yesterday.
Yippee!
Happy birthday. Do we have anybody else having a birthday here in April? Because we do have birthday cake today. Here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear brother. Happy birthday to you.
And many, 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 many more. And now let's bless our kids.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I behold the Christ you are. Now, would you like to bless us back? Okay? That's okay. You just hold out your hands like this to the people. There we go, and here we go. God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I behold the Christ in you. Christ you are. Yes, I should know that by now. All right, I invite you to gather for our peace song, holding our beautiful Mother Earth. And then afterwards, we will move on to our prayer of protection. We'll make a big circle.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other. Perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. And with every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
All right, please join me in our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Remember, you are loved and you are loved. And have some cake.
Let the sunlight of the Spirit shine right in. Illuminate my path as I pray. I needn't fear the specter of the unknown. Chase the shadows of these foolish doubts away. Omnipotent, omnipresent, everywhere I go. There is no place my God can